Welcome everyone to the 6th episode of the Console Corner, where we talk all things games. Today's episode is all about gaming news, from delays to studios shutting down. We have a ton to talk about today. As we always do, I want to thank everyone who comes out to support us, engages us in the chat, and who also rocks out with us on Twitter. We really appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to ask your questions in the chat. We'll be picking a few to talk about. You can go ahead and start adding them in the chat now, and we'll go ahead and grab them. All right, let's do that again. Asthmatic's back. He just popped back in. Can you hear us?
I dropped out. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, take two.
Awesome. There we go.
All right, everybody in the chat, let us know if you can hear us now.
I can hear everybody.
Jamie, let me know. You can hear us, brother.
Okay. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, that's an awkward way to find out your mic isn't working. When you hear me from Engine, I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up? Ready to play Division?" You just like start talking over me. I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." I won't talk.
I'm not allowed to talk right now.
I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go ahead. What do you play this week, SheWolf?
What? Oh, I'm playing... Sorry, I was checking to make sure we could hear each other, so I was listening to the other video as
This is going to be a great show. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah, anyways, Plants vs. Zombies. Other than that, I have to say I've actually been lacking a bit. Oh wait, I was playing that Regan... No, I didn't play that long. That was just a stupid game.
Oh, stop it. That was a good game. I like it.
You like it, but anyways, what? I'm just hyped for Division, so I haven't been playing a whole lot.
Cool. What about you, Fox? What you playing?
Halo all day, every day.
Yeah.
She's actually really good at Halo.
Nice. Yeah,
With a little bit of soccer cars on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, and recently my friend got Battlefield 4, so I've been playing that again. So yeah.
Nice. What about you, Asthmatic?
Played a little. I played my Hour of the Solace project after last week. I played some Unravel. Super fun. And right now I'm just, every ounce of my body is gearing up for Division. Get homework done beforehand. We're going to be ready for tonight.
Yeah, I'm taking a nap right after this podcast, brother. For sure.
No, we're going to the store first to get some
Get some
snacks
smacks.
and
We need some
Monster.
Top sponsor.
What about you, Blam? I know you've been busy this week, man. Did you get to play anything?
If there's a game called Moving Around Your Family Members, and I've been playing that shit a lot.
Tetris.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't been playing much of anything, man. Maybe some Halo here and there, a little Call of Duty here and there. Just dibbling, dabbling a little bit of stuff. Other than that, I haven't been doing much, but I will be ready for the Division tonight. I'm making a lot of time for that, being a wife, so we'll be playing a whole shit ton of that for sure.
Awesome. What about you, Lav? What you been playing, man?
I've been playing my number one game at the moment, which is Twitter, and then my number two, Halo, and didn't beat Unravel yet. Still working on that. That music's so damn mellow, man. I'll be playing late, I fall asleep, I wake up, and I'm like, fuck. What else? Oh, Sunset Overdrive, man. Jump back on it because I got the DLC.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Me, I've been playing some soccer cars. I've 100% that. I run 100% of that Reagan Gorbachev game. I've been playing some Resident Evil 0. What else? I'm gonna be playing the Division probably all week. So.
Good job on 100%.
Yeah, man. That was a pretty tough game. It was a lot of fun, though. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this first topic that everybody's crazed about, and I'm kind of pissed off about. So, first topic I want to get into is the news that dropped today that Lionhead Studios and Press Play are closed, and the games Fable Legend and Project Knoxville have been canceled. I want to go ahead and see what everybody thinks about that. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it, man.
I don't know much about it. Like I said, I've been literally in a cave all week. I haven't really been on Twitter. I know this just dropped today. I've seen a little bit of it, and when I saw it, my heart immediately dropped. I don't know what happened. I mean, business is business. Things like this happen all the time. But those are two games that I was definitely looking forward to. I had just spoke with the community manager of Press Play, and me and GKB actually we did the
interview, man.
and the game sounded great. It was going along great, and Fable Legends. I was not in the beta, didn't get to play it, but still looking forward to it. And to hear anytime you hear people losing their jobs or you possibly be losing out on these IPs, it always hurts. I don't know what could have happened. I mean, it could have been financially. Maybe they're going in a different direction. Maybe they're consolidating. I mean, I don't know if they've even come out since then and said what happened. So who knows if we ever will know truly. But I hope something comes out of those IPs, or they use the assets for something, or I just hope something comes from this positive, because I hate for this to happen and we never hear anything about these games anymore or from these studios anymore at all. So I'm just hoping that something positive comes out of it. Business is business. Things happen. Things change. When you talk about multi-millions of dollars and all this money, things happen all the time. So it's unfortunate. Hate to hear people lose their jobs, especially hate to hear people lose their jobs. But hopefully something positive comes of this.
Yeah, me too. First and foremost, man, my heart goes out to everybody that lost their jobs. I hope that they get something pretty soon. Now that the niceties are out of the way, you know what? Fuck it. I'm fucking pissed. I am not fucking happy at all. I've been playing Fable Legends, man, since the alpha.
First week of alpha.
Yeah, like I've been putting a lot of time into this, helping the devs, giving feedback and all this, and it's turned out to see it progress from like what it was to now. Like, I don't understand this whatsoever. This game is just ready to go. Like, it's beautiful, plays well. There's little hitches and some optimization that still needs to be done, but what the hell is going on, Microsoft? Like, really? Like, how can you close this place down?
I was ready to fork out money for these characters, and now it can be talked about, everybody. It is no longer the game that cannot be. And I was so mad because I really wanted the character Winter, and I actually stopped playing the beta because I just wanted it to be released so I could just play through it and get the achievements and everything else like that. I was so set, and now all of a sudden it's just gone. And I went in today to actually look at it because the servers are up until April 13th. So anyone who is still, but nobody will be getting into the beta anymore. But whoever has it can do that until the 13th. But what just sucks is going through, and it's so gorgeous. So much detail is in this game. So much detail.
There's a really good showcase for DX12 too, and what they're trying to accomplish with that whole API. So I don't understand it, guys.
It was definitely a quality product as far as from a business standpoint. So it's not like the devs weren't performing or anything as to why it would have been pulled. So it really makes you wonder what's really going on. Like, what was the reasoning behind pulling the plug on not just any game studio, but on a studio that's been so successful in the past, and then to see this game that was going to be so great and and is almost fully developed, and makes you wonder what's going on that's causing great games like this and great people to get the pull plugged on them the plug pulled on them like that.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Zazz? I know you just got to play Fable Legends.
Yeah, no, I'm really angry about it because I just got the game. It feels nearly dang done. I'm going to stream the living crap out of it now since there's nothing for them to do about it.
I'm at that point too, man. I'm just
right,
fuck
and
it.
And at one point I was talking to you earlier about this too, where I almost halfway blame them a little bit for not getting some kind of community support behind this, because you remember the trials that I went through trying to get into this beta alone. It took me 5 months to get into it, and it was just like you could have gotten that community support behind you. You didn't really have anything to show for it because you couldn't show off anything. Everybody had basically forgotten about this game except the people who were in the beta, and it's like you just keep pushing it back, and I mean, I know it is a business at the end of the day, so it's like results got to be shown. But it's crappy because it was finished. It was a nearly done game.
I think the biggest thing, Zazz, from all of this is that nobody saw this coming. I think it just caught everybody off guard. And if there was something there was telltale signs, or say you guys were in the beta, and you guys were like, oh, this game isn't even close to being done. I can understand them pulling the plug. Like if you guys were coming back with that feedback, like, man, this game isn't even close, or it still needs a lot of work. I can understand that, but it just completely. I've been hearing nothing but good things about the game as it's progressed. I
Absolutely.
never got into the beta. I've tried, but I never got into the beta. So Zazz did hit the nail on the head when he's talking about they could have done better with the community support. People could nobody really even, like you said, if you weren't in the beta, you weren't even thinking about this game, honestly, for the most part, because you first of all you couldn't talk about it. Second of all, there was no like feedback or anything about the game in particular. Like, you know, there was no hype generated. So I don't know. It's just weird that all of a sudden, you know, this would happen just, you know, out of nowhere. A studio that's as prestigious as Lionhead that made, you know, these classics like Fable, you know, different things like that, to just kind of cave in and fall. You know, it's odd to me. I don't know what's going on with Microsoft, or who woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or what happened. I'm not exactly sure. I'd like to see some kind of explanation, because I think at this point, you do something like that. I mean, I'd like to see some kind of communication from Xbox or Microsoft as to why this happened, because I think they owe it to us. People that have been in this alpha, like, you know, like GKB and, you know, SheWolf from day one, you guys, you know, are owed an explanation, because you guys were really looking forward to this game. I didn't see any of it, but, you know, that kind of sucks for you guys to play it and see it progress, and then it just come to nothing. It comes, you know, you guys all that hype and all that, you know, sitting there playing and, you know, talking about the game, and it just comes to nothing. You have nothing to show for it. So I feel like they need to come out and, you know, kind of speak about what happened, because I think they owe it to the people that were really behind that game.
Absolutely.
I agree. My only disappointment, though, is some of the, you know, there was a lot of people that just kept complaining about how Fable Legends was taking it in the direction that they were. Everyone kept complaining, oh my god, we just want a Fable 4, we just want a Fable 4, yada, yada, yada. And fine, I understand you want a Fable 4, but if you haven't tried this game, do not put it down. Like, you should have actually been more supportive of the Fable name than just calling it out because it's not the game you wanted. If you didn't try it, you shouldn't have said nothing, because the game was amazing.
Yeah. What about you, Fox? Or Live, whichever.
Well, I was gonna say I'm nowhere near as upset as you guys are.
Yeah.
But I understand it really does suck. I didn't get into the Fable games. I did see my brother play them, and they look great. I just never got into it. But I did notice when they took the picture off the game's lineup for the holiday. I noticed after I saw that there was something off about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a good point.
So I had a feeling that it was going to get delayed or something was going to happen. I wasn't sure what. And this really sucks, though, because I actually was looking forward to this one. Even though I didn't get into the other ones, this one actually, you know, piqued my interest. And I like the fact that you could do cross-play with PC, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So that was interesting as well. So I was looking forward to it, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's tough, man. I'm not the biggest Fable fan. I thought it was pretty cool, but I can see where they kind of ran into issues, because if you played it from the beginning, you could kind of tell they kind of tried to go into the Evolve realm of that 1 versus 4, and they saw that shit fall apart with Evolve, and I think they panicked a little bit. So then they started really building up a story behind it. But I think behind that, it might have turned out to be more expensive than they thought.
Mm-hmm.
So not having the structure in place from the jump might have cost them being able to actually put out the game that we want. And I think that might have been the biggest issue behind it. Because from what I know, it was just supposed to be kind of like Smite. Like how Smite is, except for instead of it being like team versus team, it's 1 versus 4. And it seemed like a good idea, but a lot of people just really didn't gravitate towards being the villain. Like, shoot, the last couple months, they weren't really even allowing you to be the villain.
You had to, like, unlock 10 quests.
Yeah,
I played the villain, and I loved it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
really did.
I think that was the biggest issue, was like, it was more of an acquired taste. Like, just like anything, most people will gravitate to the heroes first, and they might have played with the villain a little bit, but then they would just go back to go back to playing as the hero. And they probably done the stats and data and were looking at the game and like, oh fuck, they're not playing it the way we need them to play it.
Right.
for this game to be successful, because the game is supposed to be on a 10-year plan. So the way people are playing it, they could be looking at it like, oh, this is only going to last for 2 years. And Microsoft still has to shovel money into it as far as like keeping people like working on the game, adding different things to it. And in the long run, it might have just been too expensive for them to do it, and then
That's a good point.
it might have just not only crumbled the game, but crumbled the
entire
studio.
studio. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. Isn't that what happened to a couple of Sony studios? It's the same thing. It's not like it's a Microsoft thing. It's just an industry thing. One game could really just screw up everything. It's just it was really ambitious, but it was maybe too ambitious.
I just hope they take the assets that they have. I mean, I hope some of those people, because a lot of the people at those studios are very, very talented people. I hope they take them and move them places where they could be utilized, like put them on another game or make a smaller studio. They did mention that.
They said that they can move. They'll either move them to another
studio or help them out
in Microsoft, or they'll help them get a job.
Who said that?
No, it was on the report.
Yeah, on the Xbox.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. I didn't even read it. So that's good. I'm glad that they're actually going to dissolve. Well, not dissolve, but absorb. The people that left the studios or whatever.
I say, don't be surprised if you see Fable Legends in HoloLens though, because they're not going to just throw that shit away.
Honestly,
that game is way too close to being completed.
Honestly, I hope they throw it like into the preview program and just let everybody play it.
Let everybody play it. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's just some sad news today.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else before we move on?
I'm just wondering what happens to the money. What if
They're
people
getting
bust them?
refunded.
Okay, that's for sure.
Yeah,
If you go to the Fable website, they have all the detail about what happened and what they're doing with everything. And
Because I was just like close to buying a character yesterday.
So was I, actually.
I was so close to.
Winter, I would have spent all the money on her.
Yeah, Winter right now, she is my favorite character.
Yeah, the game looks beautiful from the stuff that I have seen, and it sucks that we're losing a title.
Yeah.
Some sad stuff. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on. Next topic I want to go ahead and jump into is No Man's Sky. We have a hard release date of June 21st with a huge price tag, in my opinion, of $60 and a collector's edition of $150. I want to go around and get everyone's opinion. What do you think of No Man's Sky, and do you guys think the price is too high? You think it's all right? Like, what's everybody think?
I want to hear Zazz's opinion.
That's what I want. Go for it, Zazz.
It really just depends on if I can gamefly it or not. I want the game so bad, but you know me, like the only one game I'm buying this year for the full price is going to be Division. So I am really wanting to play No Man's Sky, but yeah, for $60, I mean, I can't ever take a gamble on something unless they let me try it first, I will never take a gamble on something like that.
Wasn't it supposed to be an indie game anyways?
It is.
It is an indie game.
It is an indie game. It's like 10 people making the game. Like, it's not even a big studio. So, I mean, my opinion on the whole situation is that, No Man's Sky has been shown at like, was it 2 or 3 E3s? Two at least.
Two of them, yeah.
Two of them. And at least, I heard, they were having issues, getting the game run on PS4. The footage we did see was on a PC. They're having a lot of problems behind the scene with the game. I just don't know. This is a small studio. The game's very ambitious. I think the guy, what he's doing with that math algorithm, he's like a genius with math. What he did with the algorithm to make the universe almost like infinite or something crazy like that. I think it's great. I think it's a very ambitious game and it's a great idea. I just don't know if it's really worth $60. Like, I wouldn't pay 60. I maybe 30. Maybe 40. Just depends on if the think about this. I don't know if anybody's ever thought about this. If the game's ever expanding, or not necessarily ever expanding, like is it just like randomly generated planets over and over again?
It's
pretty much
supposed to be like some kind of algorithm where there's like some odd couple hundred details that are just thrown in exactly the way they did the guns for Borderlands.
But didn't anyone hear their big selling point is that there's alien languages you can learn yourself?
I didn't hear that. I did not hear that.
Yeah, which I don't really see how that would help at all.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I just think that it's gonna be real like a niche title. I just think that it's gonna be for a certain kind of gamer who's gonna want to spend hours, exploring because it sounds like a very exploratory game. I don't know if there's much combat. Is there any interaction between like you and other people as far as
They,
like?
from what I heard, they said like I don't know if they're going to do a party system. They said the chances of you running into another player are like infinitely slim for the fact that they're saying like 99.5% of the entirety of the game will never be explored. So it's something where it's only almost going to
Oh,
crush
so it's gonna
itself
be like a
because
single player.
yeah, it's like there's almost too much content through this randomly generated algorithm
Wow.
that it's almost they said it is physically impossible for it to be fully explored with how much content.
So it's like a space Minecraft. It's like that guy on
basically is,
PC
yeah.
who's
Yeah.
trying to get to the end of the world on Minecraft. He's been doing it for like 10. He's been doing it for like 3 years, just walking, trying to get to the end on PC, to the
Yeah.
end of the map. Like it's crazy. So I don't know. I don't know about that. That's very ambitious. It sounds like a cool idea, but for that type of experience, $60.
But can you build things like on Minecraft? Like that's what I think keeps a lot of adults interested in it is the fact of the building. Where kids, yeah, they just run
that
around
and
and look at
mods too on
everything.
Minecraft. I don't know if you're going to be able to mod No Man's Sky. Like, you're gonna
I'd
be able to
probably
have
doubt
mods.
it.
It'll depend, yeah. I mean, it'll just depend on what they add because I know there's going to be a crafting system to your ship and your weapons, but since every planet, like the chances of you even being able to find a planet again that you discovered are so slim in it,
How could you add like skins to it anyway? Say like they come out with DLCs of skins. Like if everything's procedurally generated, there's no guarantee any planet you go to will have that new DLC, right?
Oh,
like,
there's no guarantee of anything. Well, it'd have to be for your ship, wouldn't it? Cause,
yeah, it would be like your ship or your blaster or something,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, because I mean, there's infinite possibilities for what they could add because all they have to do is keep adding stuff into this algorithm. But again, the chances of somebody seeing it might be 0%. So that's really interesting in the concept if it doesn't defeat itself with how ambitious that concept is, because there is a difference between ambitious and absolutely pointless, and it is to the point where they're explaining it sounds almost pointless to the fact that it just is creating stuff that no human will ever see.
I don't know if you guys caught the live stream they did. I can't remember who they did the live stream.
I think it was
They were
IGN.
showing the IGN. It was IGN, and they sat there and they were almost like forced to like you could literally see on their faces they were like, okay, something happened, so I can say something about the game. Like something happened. Like they were just sitting there. He's like, okay, well we're on this planet, we're doing this, and they're all like, It looks like they were in like a science lecture, like. And it was crazy. Like I didn't see really any like excitement. I mean, afterwards it was like, oh man, that was great. But I mean, it was so generic. Like during the stream, it was like, okay, yeah, I see. It was just so generic. I was like, what the hell?
And it really didn't show much either.
Yeah, it didn't look. What they showed, it didn't look that fun. Honestly, just for me.
Some things are better left to theory. It sounds like a great idea, but when you're trying to execute it, it's just, it's just not all that great, man. It's just sometimes. I mean, maybe he just should have stayed with science. I'm just, the algorithm sounds cool.
And he's having a problem with his own algorithm. Like, I don't know if it's going to be able to run that well on PlayStation. Like, that's exactly why it hasn't been released or anything like that. They keep pushing it back or not giving a release date. Well, now they did because they were having so many issues. So who's to say that the game comes out and the issues don't persist? Like, they still have issues running the game.
Well, so, if the issues with PlayStation persist, they'll just cut half the game out and won't make it as big as they say it was going to be. Maybe a few people will complain because he was like, "Oh, I found the end after like 20 years. This is some bullshit." They'll be like, "Well, we screwed you, but whatever."
If it took you 20 years to find the end, I'd be like,
sat
"Holy
around
crap!"
and play this game long enough.
Yeah, like that really sounds like that whole system where he builds that infinite universe is a really great idea, but that's not, you don't build a brand new game series around that, because that causes this exact problem of, if this series doesn't have a humongous following, then that huge world's going to be empty all the time, unless they were to do some sort of like I mean, forgive me for being a broken record, but some sort of like division-style matchmaking where, when you enter into a space, it finds people who are there around you, and sort of dynamically match-made you with those people. That would work well. But you, again, would have to have a really large player base and have a lot of people online to make that system work. And that really sounds like, the whole algorithm and having the amazing ability to make this huge solar system would be great, but that sounds more like something that he should have copywritten and sold to a developer who had a huge fan base.
Yeah, it's good points. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Like this goes back to our indie conversation before. Like, how can you justify the $60? And maybe because of the pushbacks and they were having so much trouble like getting it to work on PS4. Maybe Sony had to step in and say throw them a bunch of other developers or network people, whoever to get this thing optimized for the PS4. Maybe that's why it went up to $60. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing, but.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You know what really turns me off about this game, though, is the fact that it's randomly generated. That means there's no thought being put into the place that I'm at. Like, he doesn't even know. So, like, why should I give a fuck? Like
now, if you discover a planet and you go back to it, does it save that, or is it?
It's
Is it only world, or is it shared?
Like, how would it save if it's random?
It's
that's what
supposed to. I mean, that's what they're saying. Is
That's
like
what they're saying, yeah. Like
I don't
somebody
know.
else could come along and discover a planet you just discovered.
yeah, and it would say your name on it.
Yeah, or something like
covered
that.
by, so it's supposed to save that.
Okay.
So who
But then when
knows?
you get into there, at that point, you're no different than Elite Dangerous.
At that
Yeah.
point, no, I suppose not.
Yeah.
I don't know. My biggest thing is it's a gorgeous looking game. I just don't think it's worth $60. It is still an indie title, just like a lot of, all these other indies that are on PlayStation or Xbox. They're overpricing these games, and they really need to look at the fan base and who's going to actually be buying this, and I just don't think it's worth $60.
I would say 35.
Seal it, put a stamp on it, and mail it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see the appeal to the game because there's no story, there's no creative anything to it. I mean, Yarny looks better and it has a story to it, so I'd rather, put my money on that. This game doesn't seem to have anything, but then the fact that you want to say it's massive, so that's why it's so much. I understand that a little bit, but then there's more questions than there are answers, so then again, it goes back down, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, for sure.
my brother was interested in this game because he likes sci-fi, he likes space. But then when I told him how much it was, he was like, well, I don't know, because he still knows the same thing that they told him when they first showed him the game. He doesn't know anything new. So,
That's a good point, Fox. Like,
yeah.
They've got a hard date now, but they really haven't explained the
Shown
game anymore or
right.
shown anything else. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just really another odd one, man. Like, what's going on?
Too many questions. I don't like it.
I just want to see where my money's going.
Yeah.
Like, all I've heard, like I said, is you can learn alien languages. Okay, that's great, but what else? What is there?
I'll gamble it. I'll gamble the $60 for the sake of the podcast for everybody.
Why, you have
Yeah.
GameFly, you can just rent
We're
it.
sending
Well,
our researcher into the field.
Assuming, if it gets on hard disk that is able to be gameflied, I will gamefly it. I will gamefly everything.
I mean,
So-
that's a good option. I mean, you could try it out, test it,
Redbox, who knows?
Yeah,
As long
for
as it
sure.
gives me a way to rent it, I will not play it.
There you
Are
go.
they having a physical release, or is it just digital? I mean, I know
Who
they have a
knows?
collector's
Let's
edition.
hope through the
but-
power of
Yeah.
gamefly.
Yeah. But I think this makes like a good point for like developers in general. And I'm going to say this, but then at the same time, it's really hard for me. I can't say like, here's how you avoid this issue, but you never want to put gamers in a position where they're confused as to what their money is going towards, or if price is the first thing that comes to their mind with a game, like that's a problem. Like if you look at a game and you're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to be fun 5 years from now, like, okay, that's one thing. Like, but if you look at it from day one and you're going, yeah, $60, is it really worth that? Like you definitely need to avoid that, and you really need to always be making sure that you're showing, really your best content and just the whole everything that you've got going on. And if you price a game at $40, especially an indie title, like, there's nothing wrong with that.
We have to just hope that our $60 is spent on the idea of infinite space magic, and that
Yeah.
everything will open up. Because
Apparently that's something that's already done.
yeah, well,
Dealt
we
with.
we can only wait on it and see how it goes. I will try and get it so I can talk about it though for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
would like to watch somebody play it. I would actually like to see
can-
what the actual
You can watch
gist of
that
it is.
stream on IGN, or I think it's on YouTube. They have he's there showing those guys the game. It's not long. I don't remember how long it is. GKB, it's probably about
It's maybe 10-15 minutes.
yeah, it's
I
not
think
very
I just
long.
had it up. It's yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I would rather be like, say, sitting when I'm watching a video game. I would prefer to actually watch it with, like, say, the friend beside me, and I'm actually watching them play it on the TV. So, I'm not really huge on watching like other live streams and
Wow.
stuff like that.
Huge shout out to Jamie Moran.
Jamie.
He put a price of The Division, which is 42 euros, and No Man's Sky is 54.99 euros.
Ooh,
Wow.
74. It's $75 where he lives in the UK.
Wow.
Guy.
Which is insane when the Division gives you so much more.
Yeah, and they tell you everything right up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is just crazy,
I
man.
mean, I think it would help them a little bit, justifying the price if they're like, hey, we developed other games, and then they have a history, but you don't know anything about them or what they could do. and
Yeah.
bring. So you're kind of like, well, I don't know because I don't trust you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and,
Exactly.
and the one thing I worry about too is that this guy, like Foxfire just brought up a great point. He's a math whiz. He's not necessarily a game developer. Like
True.
that's his algorithm. But I mean, that's cool and all. But I wouldn't want like Albert Einstein trying to make the next Halo. Like it just, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a
I
good
don't know
point,
how
man.
that would work. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he has other people around him that are,
Right,
creative
sure,
and
for
helping
sure.
to make the game. But I just don't know, and I haven't seen anything that makes the game like jump at me. It just looks like some huge exploratory, randomly generated, expansive world that I could go to and see a blue sheep with a purple head, and go to the next one and see a purple sheep with a blue head. Like I don't know, like if that's gonna be fun after I get off work. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
not sure. Especially if I can't really interact with nobody, and it may be 2 years before I discover a planet that somebody else has. I'm not sure about that. It doesn't sound too fun. Now I could be completely wrong, just like we all could, but it just
Exactly.
as it stands now from the information that we know, it doesn't sound like a very fun game. So
Yeah.
from
It's
the
like, what are
information.
you actually doing?
Exploring.
You're
That's it?
exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
That's the
get to
thing, we don't
fight
really know.
anything?
We don't know.
Yeah, there's
there's combat.
there's you land on the planet. There's different species and aliens and birds and fish and all these different kinds of things, and then you leave apparently after you've done that. I don't know what else you do in between time, or I know there's like docking stations and bases you can go to and things like that, but I'm not too sure about all that. I haven't
Yeah.
heard much, so
But hopefully, I want to see all devs do well. So, I mean, I hope in the long run that, they're productive and, get their due. That's all.
yeah.
So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Next I want to go into is, May is looking like a big month for AAA titles. We also know a hard date for Mirror's Edge Catalyst as well. That's going to be May 24th. But with games like Battleborn, Uncharted 4, and Doom also coming out in that month. And timing's always a big thing with video games and doing well. How do you guys feel about, Mirror's Edge Catalyst? What do you think of the timing? You think it's going to go ahead and sell good?
Wait, it's going versus Battleborn?
Well, there's
Yeah, and also Uncharted and Doom, which I have to throw in here. I kind of think it's not really fair to Doom because Doom has had this set month for May since, like, what was it, back in September? They announced their release date was going to be in May, and then now all of a sudden these other games, like Mirror's Edge was actually supposed to come out, what was it, March or April? It was actually supposed to come out, I want to say, oh no, maybe it was March, because it was before. So it was still supposed to come out pretty early because Jamie Moran was actually one of them that was talking about the pushback for it and everything else like that. And now it's being pushed back to May. And then same with Uncharted's being pushed back. And, now Doom's going to kind of be pushed out of the way because it's not a, it's a multi-plat. So,
Yeah. But does the target market or the target audience for Mirror's Edge really clash with those other games? Because that's always been one for me that was really hard to nail down. Like,
I don't think it clashes, but there's that whole thing of you got
People
4
only have so
titles,
much to
yeah,
spend, like,
Money.
and you got Uncharted, which is going to be a huge game. Let's be honest here, it's
Uncharted's
Uncharted.
gonna destroy that month anyway. Like,
Yeah,
so I don't, Uncharted, it's probably gonna overshadow anything that's close to it.
Mhm.
So.
We also all have to, see the elephant in the room, and it's all money. Everything comes down to what people can spend nowadays because of the economy, people losing jobs. Heck, we're seeing high developers lose jobs now. So,
Yeah.
Everybody
you
has
just had to open that wound up again, didn't you,
I
SheWolf?
did.
You had to do it.
So, everybody watches what they spend and what games they get unless they have rental the rental places like Redbox or Gamefly.
Gamefly.
Yes.
Gamefly.
Not a sponsor.
I will recommend
Neither.
Gamefly. Enter in Cap Zazz at checkout, get a free
Captain Zazz wants a sponsorship from Gamefly.
There's a discount code.
Nice.
That's too funny. Too funny.
If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be pissed. Zaz.
Well, don't try it then.
Better is a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know, but as Matt made a good point about, I don't know if that it's just Mirror's Edge is kind of one of those games where it has a cult following.
True.
One of those games that's people have been waiting on for a while. The people that really enjoyed the first one have been like definitely waiting on this game. I don't know if the general public is that excited about the new Mirror's Edge. I mean, it's definitely something different, but you got to think about it. This generation, a lot of these gamers probably didn't even play the first one. So I don't know how many people are actually, I know that a lot of people we know, since a lot of us have played these games, are excited about it. But outside of that, I'm not too sure. And Doom, you're right about Doom. It is kind of in a funny space, SheWolf, because it is a multi-plat, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I did not get to play the, I think it was the alpha. I didn't get a chance to play it, but I heard it was fantastic. But I don't know. I mean, I'd probably buy Doom over Mirror's Edge for me, but that's just me. I'm not sure about anybody else.
Yeah, you're bloody right. I will.
Well, in my opinion, I would end up buying Doom over Mirror's Edge.
Oh, really? Go Mirror's Edge in a heartbeat.
I like
Let's
both
see.
of those.
Go ahead.
Okay. I like both of those games a lot, but it does suck that Uncharted stole the spotlight from Doom like that. I will be picking up Doom and Mirror's Edge, but if I had to pick, I think EA would be a well-known, and they're doing Mirror's Edge, so people might go to that one more than Doom, because people see Doom, they're like, oh yeah, that's that old school game, so only certain people would get that one.
Well, I mean, I think Uncharted moved because they didn't want any part of Quantum Break. Just in case.
We're getting some echo, guys.
They didn't want any part of that because they don't want that language to be, oh, this game did better than their, best franchise.
Yeah, I don't know if they intentionally moved it though. I mean, I think Uncharted is like, it's like their Halo almost. It's their biggest game on the platform outside of like God of War or something like that, which would be like Gears on the Xbox platform.
I think God of War is bigger than.
You think God of War is bigger?
Uncharted.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think, Zazz? You think God of War is bigger than Uncharted?
There's a lot of following, but we haven't heard much out of God of War, and Uncharted's been there. But we cycle our franchises a good bit. I mean, so you got the followings of Infamous, and Killzone's a huge following too. You just haven't heard anything out of it in a while.
Who the fuck? What? Killzone?
Killzone was a great game back in its time. Those games.
You mean
were
the first
incredible.
one?
I think like back
1,
in the PS2.
2, 3 was kind of lower, and then Shadowfall was like not good at all.
Yeah.
I
And
love
then
number 1.
Resistance also was out there too. That one was
Yeah,
pretty
Resistance.
low.
That Resistance.
I just always thought Killzone was kind of like that demo that they showed on E3 looked like it was gonna be dope back in the day. They still don't got that shit now.
Yeah, I don't know. Killzone just never pans out, man. It's a beautiful looking game. One of the, probably every time it comes out, it's usually one of the best looking games. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's just not.
They know how to
that
do graphics.
It's weird too because it's got an incredible story to it too. It just never picked up that
Momentum.
real momentum to it. Yeah, that was the only problem with it.
Well, I mean, because Killzone is like a supermodel, She looked good, but the bitch is ditzy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, live.
Like it is.
Yeah. No offense to any women listening,
And on that
Live
note,
Hey, I said
we got two female
you
panel
believe that
people
all
here.
Supermodels are ditzy.
all
No,
right,
but
guys.
what was the other game that you mentioned along? Was it Battleborn?
Yeah, Battleborn's coming out.
Yeah, that's more of a.
That's not.
Yeah.
That might be real niche because that's not getting any
Yeah.
talk about or anything
That's true.
like that.
That's true.
So I feel
Yeah.
bad for that game, but we all know
Yeah.
Uncharted is going to be number one no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, they
And-
canceled this game?
Battleborn
Okay.
is actually going to be released just before Uncharted. I believe they are a week apart.
Oh well.
Yeah, but
Week apart, week behind, it don't matter.
nobody's
Yeah.
You're gonna
talking
get
about
caught
it.
in that
It sucks.
fallout. Yeah, you're gonna get caught in that fallout. Not a good idea.
Oh man.
All
Well,
right,
at
guys.
least Doom has a little bit because it's like right at the end of the month.
Yeah, it has a little bit of a cushion. So.
That's a good segue going into the next topic here. I want to talk about Uncharted 4 being delayed again. Not specifically the delay itself, but this game's been delayed multiple times, and I've gone on record saying that I'm fine with delays as long as it makes the game better. But at this point, I'm kind of worried. Naughty Dog's lost some great people behind the series, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't lose that charm that made Uncharted special.
Anytime you lose the people that Naughty Dog has lost, you have to. They've
have to
taken big hits. You
Yeah.
have to go back to the drawing board. Like you mean, like you lose your head writer, you lose. I don't know if it was an actor or the voice actor. I believe it was. I don't remember exactly who it was, but they changed a few people. A lot of writers left. A couple other people left to do animation. They moved to other studios. So, and like I said before, and I've said this on my podcast, and I think it's Mooch's podcast also too, that I'm not an insider, but I have heard from a very, very reliable person that they spoke to somebody with Naughty Dog, and they were saying behind the scenes that they were having a lot of trouble getting the game to run how they wanted it to run. I don't know whether it was frame rate or or anything like that. But maybe it's better now because I know the beta went pretty well for most people. Maybe they gotten that taken care of, but I know they've had some big setbacks with that game. So I think it'll be a great game. I mean, I don't know at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's just Uncharted, and it's gonna be good because it's Uncharted. Because it's the previous ones. I can't guarantee that though, but I'm hoping that as well. I'm hoping that's a good game. So.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping that Uncharted does good.
Yeah.
I just don't want, if this is their last Uncharted game, to go out I want them to go out with a bang, not with like a little fizzle kind of thing. So, what about you, Zazz? I know you're a big Uncharted fan.
I'm a huge Uncharted fan.
Does it work?
Sorry,
Does it-
I don't mean to cut in. I
Sure.
just want to make one announcement to people in the chat. There is no fanboy here. We actually have a very big Sony person here on the panel, which is Captain Zazz. So I just want to make that a little clear.
We give credit where credit is due.
That's
We give
absolutely
credit where
right.
credit is due. We all want Uncharted to do well. It's okay to be critical of a game, but
Absolutely.
so you can keep that fanboy shit, whatever you're talking about, to yourself. So
Exactly. All right, go ahead, Zazz.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a huge fan of all the Uncharted's. Played them multiple times. It's one of my top franchises easily. The kind of thing. Okay, so Nolan North carries a lot of that character with him, but the kind of only thing that I'm worried about is I am a huge original Uncharted fan with Amy Hennig's writing.
That's what I was going to ask you is Amy
Drummond,
Hennig.
who wrote Last of Us, and he wrote one of my. That's like Last of Us is easily one of my top 3 favorite games. He wrote it incredibly, but it wasn't that lighthearted feel. It was like very depressing, very upsetting. So I'm gonna have to see. I mean, if they do what they're hinting at and actually like kill off the franchise, it might be good that somebody who's good at writing really sad, very upsetting games is gonna do. But I honestly don't know, because Nolan North is Nolan North. He is Nathan Drake. So hopefully we don't lose it, but it does. I don't like the fact that Amy Hennig left with 8 months worth of work. Granted, it is on a Star Wars game, but
Well, that was my thing too, man. Is because when they said Amy Hennig left, they pretty much threw everything that she worked on, out the door.
It's terrible too. 8 months worth of work thrown out, rewriting the story entirely,
Absolutely.
thrown out, and that's like.
I mean, she was the figurehead behind that story. So.
And in honesty too, I didn't want them working on Uncharted 4. I wanted them working on Last of Us 2. So it's like. Her leaving is like kind of a bittersweet thing, because of course maybe we get 1313 again. I get another Star Wars game written by her. But at the same time, I don't want my final Uncharted game to hurt because of it.
Hey, I want to say something before anybody else speaks. I was telling GKB I have to head out, guys. My wife has to be somewhere at 6. So I just want to, tell everybody later, everybody that's listening, I'll be back. I will be resuming my.
Yeah, I gotta go too, man. Where you going?
No, I gotta head out, man. Wife has to be somewhere, so
Yeah, I gotta head out too.
Everybody listening, appreciate you guys. Thanks, GKB, SheWolf, man.
Yeah, sure.
Catch you guys on the flip side. I will be listening to the rest of the podcast though. On the way to wherever the hell we're going to. So you guys have a good one, everybody. You guys take it easy though.
All right, brother. See you.
Yeah, I gotta go too. It was a bunch of fun, and man, I'm playing Fable Legends. You guys are so right. This game is so fucking awesome.
Exactly,
Right?
man.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, man. Like
Absolutely.
they changed a lot of shit in here.
Go find where you cooked the chicken.
I'm about to go kick some chickens. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, brother.
Bye, live.
All right,
See ya. Oh, man. All right, so back to Uncharted. Anybody else?
How far back did they push this thing?
Well, it's only till May 10th.
Now.
It's only a couple weeks, but
But that's still the third pushback, though.
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, like I said, I just want good things for Uncharted. I think it's a good series, and I want them to go out on the bang if this is their last game. I just don't want them to go out with a fizzle, like I said. So,
Yeah. They need to avoid as much like turmoil as they can coming up to their release.
exactly.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it's worth the hype. Basically, everything's riding on the story. Because really, at the end of the day, who cares about the multiplayer? My brothers have the games, and I played it a couple of times, and we never touched the multiplayer.
Exactly.
So
Nobody goes in the store and is like, "Hey, I want Uncharted for that multiplayer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice little thing on the side.
Oh,
but
sure,
even then, if you have other games, like Doom coming out, if you have other games like The Division, why would you stay there?
Exactly.
But yeah, the story is what matters, and I hope that they do good. But I don't know. It's a lot of questions on that one as well.
Okay, my bad. Black Tiger confirmed that it's actually the 4th delay.
Yep,
So,
4th.
That's just kind of sad for a AAA game, no matter where it is. That's just really depressing to hear that, a game like this is getting that many pushbacks.
And that
Yeah.
brings us right back to what Todd Howard over at Bethesda was talking about, how it might be a good idea for the whole industry to try to reduce the time period between between announcement and release, because it would help avoid things like this, because we wouldn't know that they had been delayed all this time.
Yeah,
That's
Fable, it's a great example of, Fable. Fallout, it's a great example of that.
Absolutely, they build up that hype, not talking about it, and then hey, bam, here we go, and then it's releasing this year. It's like perfect. They did everything right with that game.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on here. So we also heard that Mass Effect's been delayed officially to the beginning of 2017. Do you guys think this could be from what it looks like to be a jam-packed holiday again? EA from their financial meetings already stated that Battlefield 5 is releasing this year and Titanfall 2 is releasing in the third quarter. So we're looking at holiday again. Do you think that's one of the reasons maybe possibly that got pushed back?
It could be. I'm a little disappointed. There's a lot of people looking forward to Mass Effect, and it's already been how many years since the last one? Like 3 or something, or 4? So, that they should have maybe looked into a better release date, like maybe bring it out in August or even in July, where, there's a lot of games that are being not released in the summer. Like, people have all these breaks during the summertime, and yet there's hardly anything that comes out for anybody to play. They all set it up for the holiday. And, I just wish maybe these companies, Mass Effect, would have actually looked at release dates instead of pushing it back farther, actually releasing it at a month that there is nothing.
I agree.
I think they don't. I feel like this is probably a development thing. It's probably something to do with a technical issue that they're delaying this, because Mass Effect isn't a series that has to really avoid other big games in order
That's
to
true.
sell.
That's
like
true.
if there's a series who can compete in holiday season with all the other big players, Mass Effect can do it. So
Yeah, they're just
I don't
like
think they're doing it
Fallout.
for safety of launch window.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about you, Zaz?
I'm just sitting here salty about it because I forgot about that delay. And it's like it's to the point where too. I mean, maybe it is like just for release window, but I mean, Matt's absolutely right. Like, if there was another game I was gonna buy, it was gonna be Mass Effect. I always go out of my way to buy a Mass Effect. That would be my like top one favorite franchise. I'm really
My top one.
my top one. If Last of Us is up there, I'm gonna say like 15 different games though by the end of this though. So you'll see Fallout and BioShock cycled in there at some point. So I don't really know where I'm coming from. But I hope it's not a release date thing, or I mean a release window thing, because that'll just make me angry with EA with going on this kind of making me wait for a game because they want it to do well. And I know that's selfish on my part, but I don't care at that point because I just want the game as fast as I can get it. So I'm angry on all fronts on this one.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but I mean, you see a lot of games getting pushed to the beginning of the year, which seems to be like a good window now for games. It's right after the holidays, people are, being able to pay some stuff off and then get some stuff. So it might be good for it too,
Well, here's
But then
the-
they might hurt Scalebound. That'd be the issue with that too.
That's a
Here's
good point. That's a
question
good
for
point.
you guys. Black Tiger says Mass Effect is being delayed because EA doesn't want to compete with this holiday and the launch of Nintendo NX supposedly coming out this holiday season.
Yeah, that's what they said in their financial statements as well, something similar to that.
So we could see a lot new Nintendo games. So what's everyone's thoughts of that?
Nintendo has its market. I'll make the money for that if they pull something off. But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I am so jaded with them because they have hashed out their Pokemon and Mario market. They're sticking with it. And then the last E3 I watched, the new Star Fox, the only Nintendo thing I was excited for, looked like a dang GameCube game.
That's
so you have your market, and I'll make your money for it. I would hope that Nintendo isn't really considered in this whole AAA games title, but we'll
Well,
see.
there's
with
the
NX.
rumor that COD's going to be going to NX.
That would be huge for them.
That would be. Well, I mean, that goes back to their whole, they're trying to get that third-party support again, so, they're doing good
That
stuff.
is a killer. Is a
Yeah.
killer.
Anything else on that before we move on, guys?
I'm going to reiterate what I said before. I don't think that's they don't need to worry about that. I mean, even for a console, it's because it's not the same people. It goes back to what I was saying before about the target audience. It's that those people that they're really wanting to target there. I don't think that they need to worry about those people being torn between Mass Effect and a Nintendo console.
True. Yeah, I think.
It just sucks that a lot of games are getting delayed, but if it does benefit the game story-wise or, how they're making and creating it, then that's a plus. And when it does come out, then it'll be amazing.
I agree.
But yeah, it does suck. Delays are everywhere. It's part of this generation.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It
I will
sucks.
sign up to wait. Go for it, Zaz.
Oh no, I'm just wondering, why can't Call of Duty ever get delayed? Actually,
They got to get that 15 million sales every year, man.
Yeah.
The year of 2016, game delays.
Yeah. Well, Call of Duty's they have the sports game development cycle where it's whatever features we weren't able to get into it this year, just put it on the bench and it'll be for the first thing we build for next year's release.
It is amazing technical feat that they can just pump those things out, man, and just keep it
And
going,
with the crappy servers that they have.
or lack of thereof.
Yeah.
They need to stop making it for last generation, if anything. I mean, maybe they'll come out with a good one.
Yeah, maybe the next one.
Definitely need to do that for this year.
Yeah.
Well, with that, there's the rumor that it's gonna be called Bloodlines or something. No more Ghost.
That's gonna be interesting. Well, it could be still a Ghost tie-in. You never know. Who knows?
Bloodlines, huh? I was not expecting that.
All right, guys, let's go and move on. So back at last year's E3, Phil dropped a bomb about the Elite controller, and the media went on to call it too expensive and it's a monstrosity. The funny thing is Microsoft couldn't keep it in stock, and everyone from PC to PS4 and Xbox were buying it. Well, now we have our first Halo 5 mod pack from Power A, which looks fantastic. But what I really want to talk about is the price point of this. You know, it's looking like $40 to $50. And, you know, maybe some other ones might come out as well in this price range. What do you guys think of that kind of price and what you're getting?
I think that's way high.
I agree, man. I think it's way too expensive. I think $25 to $30 is a better price point for this.
Yeah.
When you're talking like $50, man, that's like a third of the Elite controller. Like,
Exactly.
So
And they're not, like, if they were giving us some sort of different components, I'd like, because this is just themed, is really all
Right.
it is. Unless
Exactly.
you've been using your Elite controller, you know, so much that you've already worn out your thumbsticks and you need new thumbsticks, then this is something that is good for you because you can get a new set of those. But other than that, this is really only really a theme kit for Halo fans, because you
Right.
get your special looking, you know, paddles and your D-pad. And even with that, the two D-pads you get with this really aren't that different. They're both just up, down, left, and right, but one says UNSC and one's got a Spartan helmet on it. We don't get any new components. Like, I'll spend $50 for a, quote, expansion to the Elite controller experience, but
And the thumbsticks too that come with look just like the ones I already have with the controller, so I'm kind of confused
What was
as
the
to
point?
Yeah.
what's the point there? I'm not sure where they're going.
They're
at.
just trying to, you know, dip their hands into the money that is being made from the controllers, basically, which is, I mean, smart but sad at the same time because they just want your money. I mean, yeah. When
Go ahead.
oh, also when the price goes down, I can see people picking it up, especially Halo fans.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I don't know. I doubt it.
I think they would have had a better chance if they would have released it back, like, say, last holiday when Halo was really big. But now that
Yeah.
Halo's kind of getting a little, you know, all these other games are coming out, and it's just these pieces, I don't see it's that big of a deal. Like, you're telling me you couldn't have given me a custom, like, front plate and
Like
back
the front
plate?
shell.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, like, you're telling me you couldn't give me a custom one of that for $60?
Yeah, for $50 though, I mean, I should have to be able to customize it however I want from PowerA. I want it bezazzled with rhinestones,
Exactly,
and I want
right?
it to have Truth and Justice engraved on the back. And it's like,
Ooh, that'd be cool. Like, even at least your, like, gamer tag somewhere
Oh,
on
yes.
it.
well, I
There
started
it is.
doing custom ones now, and I just totally like didn't.
Yeah, you just
trademark
screwed
that.
it over there.
My big thing with this whole thing is, like, when I saw the Elite controller, I was like really excited about the possibilities of like these, you know, especially when they showed like the Forza one and stuff like that. And I was like, oh,
Yep.
that's really awesome. But I hope going forward that, you know, these price points of $50 really doesn't hurt, and then other companies don't want to do it and bring us some more cool customizable things for this. So I don't know. There's that.
Or maybe they'll learn from it and bring the prices
That's a
down.
possibility too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna
They'll
say
be
that.
like, hey, we can make actually more money if we sell cheaper than these guys and give them more. Because
Yeah.
think about it, look at GameStop. If anybody actually like watched the GameStop store and how they were selling the Elite controller, they were literally putting it with everything to sell that stuff with it, and it was selling
bundle.
out. Yeah. They had the Cronus Max, they had Skull Candy earbuds, they had games and everything. Like they were selling out. They were selling out fast because people wanted the Elite controller.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I want to say this, but I don't even know how much I believe it.
for
But
it.
we might have. This might be good, seeing that this is a third-party product, and that, you know, whenever we see some first-party additional products for the Elite controller, maybe they'll come at a lesser price then, after having seen what is likely to be backlash as to this price point. But I mean, I don't know.
I think
Yeah, and they
Microsoft.
need,
Go ahead, Fox. Sorry.
It's okay. Oh no. I was just saying they need better selection as well, because not, you know, it shouldn't only be for like Halo fans. They should have different.
Absolutely, all
Styles
kinds of
and
games.
things like that.
agree.
Yeah, I think with Microsoft, like they're just trying to keep the controller in stock right now, so I don't even think they've even been on to the whole customizable thing yet. I'm sure they got plans for it, but they just haven't been able to implement it yet.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just wait for eBay. Everybody
I know
always
why this
makes
is
better
happening.
things than eBay.
Yeah, if it was Division ones, I'm sure I'd just pay the $50
Ooh,
willingly.
God,
so
I
there you
want.
go.
That's a good point too, right? Depends on the
Yeah, if
game,
they
I
had
guess.
these when Halo 5 launched, they would have sold them
Oh yeah.
Like,
That yeah, exactly.
they
That's
would've.
what I was saying earlier. If they would have sold it even a month after like Halo launch, because didn't the Elite controller launched like the same month that Halo
Same
did?
day,
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
why is it blue
So
though too? Why is it the lock colors? Wouldn't it sell better too if it
Yeah,
was
it's
like
green.
the chief colors?
Yeah.
That's,
True.
man,
I
mean,
might
like
actually
lock
pony up the
better, but,
$50 on
know,
that one.
You know.
It was Master Chief
it's
color.
good to see it though. Like aside
Yeah,
from
for
this
sure.
point, as far as just the market is concerned, it's great to see additional components for your Elite controller at least starting because. Yeah,
Are they
because
still
if
the
this
metal?
was something that we didn't care to buy, no one would care about it being overpriced. It'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But it's like people are mad about the price because this is a product I'm interested in.
are they still the metal that they are?
Yeah.
Or
I think they'd have to be because of the way they connect to the controller with the magnetic
Yeah.
and all that. So
I mean, I would hope so. They would be the exact same one. I wouldn't want a different or lesser version of it. It would feel cheap.
Some tinfoil nonsense. Yeah, no.
all right.
speaking of tinfoil Elite controllers.
Awesome,
I mean, I'm
guys.
sure that when the price drops, I'll probably pick it up though.
Yeah, for sure. If it goes
I'm
on
all about that
sale.
Halo.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the last topic before we get into some questions from the people watching. And I think this is what we're all excited about for today. And I wanted to talk about the leaks of, patch 1.1 for the Division. And I want to talk about some of the free DLC, which includes incursions and trading of loot. And a lot of us, when we were talking about Division before we really got into the betas and stuff, we were worried if it was going to have enough content. And I think Ubisoft is really on top of their game, man, and, giving us what we want and learning the mistakes of, Destiny and some other games. What do you guys think?
Oh my God, the Division, the Division, the Division, the Division, people.
We'll just let her have the floor.
Oh my
I
God,
think-
I'm so excited.
I think the best thing that they've done in the last couple weeks is that video that showed everything that they're going to do in year one. Because I'm a believer in season passes for a number of different reasons, but we're seeing the prices of season passes go up recently, and the Divisions is $40 whether you get it in a bundle or standalone. And $40 is, that you're getting close to the price of a full game at that point, and I really need to know that I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
So I think that that's something that all developers need to notice and that's an example that needs to be followed. Because show me, I don't need every little detail of every expansion, but tell me I've got an expansion coming here. Tell me I've got everything, that I'm getting a lot of stuff for the price of my season pass, because I'm throwing the money somewhere, right?
I already made that mistake with Battlefront with the Greedo nonsense. I don't even think we talked about that on the last couple of them.
No.
Mad about that one.
I think
About it.
I think
they're playing it
Ubisoft's...
smart.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they're playing it smart. They're actually telling us, what we're getting, and
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say.
I mean, they're just feeding the hype, as you can see with SheWolf.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, I didn't even need to know what was in the season pass. Just playing the game. If I can play a beta, an alpha, and an open beta, and want to continue to play it after I've maxed out my character every single time, this is a game that I know I can get into.
I think
True, but then you have a plus, and it tells you that you're still going to be playing it later on with more things.
Oh, and it's not even, they've even announced that they're not even just upping. They're going to be adding more story to PvE, which a lot of games don't do. They tend to leave that after a while. But they're also adding more to the Dark Zone, and the Season Pass is going to be hit to both of them. It's not just going to be just
One or the
multiplayer.
other.
They are going to be upping, like the first one, your Underground of Manhattan. It's actually the PvE one. Not a lot of games do that.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true. What did you guys think about the 1.1 patch where it's fixing a lot of the graphical stuff and, adding a lot more stuff into the game? So what did you guys think about that stuff?
Loot trading.
Yeah, right?
Loot trading's going to be big. I know
Well, if
as...
we want to look at loot trading, I want to get this confirmed because I was talking to somebody about this, not
Go for
on
it.
a podcast. I apologize, I don't remember who it was, but because I am typically against loot trading, it was one of my favorite things that they didn't have in Destiny, because I feel that if there's an item you want, you need to work for it yourself, and that I don't like that it's even an option that my friend who has played the game way more can have one and then can just offload it to me, and I get this great item without ever having to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
But someone had made the point to me that they thought it was only within a match. So if we do a mission
Yep.
and he gets a cool gun, and then he can, like, you have a window or something where it's only people who are in that match that you can give that to.
Right, so it's whoever was in that party that did that, whatever, raid, whatever, and that drops, yeah, that's the only time that it can happen.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm okay with that, though. I am fully okay with that.
Absolutely.
Because then you're not having high-ranked people getting people who are just coming into the game, giving them their stuff. No, people do actually have to work for stuff. But at least if you have doubles and your friend's like, oh my god, I've been trying to get that goddamn gun, you can give it to them. You can actually treat them right there and be like, all right, I got it, here you go, I didn't want it.
Right, because I'm sure there's going to be some kind of like raid sets where, you get like a full piece of gear or whatever, and if you've already got it and your buddy has it and he's trying to get it and it drops, that's kind of cool. Like, hey, here you go, man, whatever.
There it is. Yeah. That flavor I like. And I've gone through this with this is the same thought process that I went through with their timed exclusives, where I think that timed exclusives are okay, but you got to do it right. And Destiny really did it wrong with a year. 30 days sounds
oh my
good.
God.
Yeah, for sure.
Trading, I'm not really for it, but this flavor sounds just right. So far, The Division, on point.
Yeah, I
And
don't see
Ubisoft.
anybody getting upset over that at all.
Ubisoft's been on point this
they-
whole game. They haven't
whole
done anything
launch.
wrong. Yeah, they've.
Yeah, so
This
far.
game's not even out yet.
Microsoft needs to
Yeah.
hire these PR guys. Like, Jesus.
Also, I believe you're talking about me, because me and Asthmatic were talking about it on Twitter, about the loot thing, and I did say that it's probably going to be selective, either during mission or something like that. Also, it might have something to do with level, so maybe you can only
Locked
get it
out
if
there,
you're
yeah.
that level as well, so it might depend.
Yeah, and those are the things that loot trading really needed to have on top of it. Thank you, Foxfire.
And at the same time, nobody truly knows exactly what these systems are going to be. They could be testing out a small portion to see what works best, and then they could change it to what people are actually wanting, or they could go even bigger. And after all, you're in the apocalypse, so you could almost have like a big trading station where you have to actually like go to like one spot of the map, and you can like trade people or get money, so you can earn your status just like it would actually be in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Just some things that I've kind of heard rumors from their websites and stuff of
Yeah.
ideas that were being passed around, and I thought that would be an amazing experience, actually putting you in like as if you had to survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking back through these notes again, the 1.01 notes, because I don't believe loot trading is 1.01. That's going to be
That's April, ain't it?
yeah, that's going to be like another
Aw.
month or so down the line. That's
Yeah.
not right away.
You gotta give people enough time to, enjoy the content that they already have,
That's going to be like part of the first like missions they release.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm excited about it, and I didn't even read the patch notes.
So what
Gotta
is-
read them.
What does everybody
Well, the
think
thing-
incursions are gonna be? I know we know a little bit about them, but not much.
Raids, I think they're going to be some form of raids. They've kind of sort of touched base on them.
They're definitely gonna be their
And-
end game for sure.
Yeah. They're, events maybe.
Yeah. We have to see if they're going to follow that traditional path where we saw like World of Warcraft has like dungeons and then they have raids, that are way bigger and you get way better loot. And then in Destiny we saw strikes for smaller groups and then raids for larger groups, and the same story, better loot. So right now we only have this one end game group activity announced for the Division, so we got to see like, is this it? Is this sort of the strike raid brought into one, or is this the bigger version? Is this a smaller version?
My question to you, Asthmatic, have they said that? I mean, they did say you needed a four people party, but did they say that you could have multiple parties in the incursions, or is that just?
No, all they said about it in that, and this is from that video, the year one content video, that they said it's going to be a 4-man. They just said it's a 4-man end game activity, and they did a good job in that video of really showing that like there was always 4 people on the screen. You could see all your people in that, and it looked like it was 4 people. But we know that server side they can accommodate more than 4 people in one place. So
I think it's
that's-
24.
yeah, that's what leads me to that. Like, this could be like the smaller flavor, and then a little ways more down the road, they're gonna say, all right, now here is the raid, and it's X amount of players, and it's huge.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
We don't know where that's going.
Absolutely. Everybody
I think
excited
these are just
for the division tonight? Everybody gonna be up all
Oh
night?
my god. And
Yep.
again, you know, nothing is set in stone.
That's
Like
true.
these are
Stuff
these
can
are all
change.
things that people have been, you know, that Ubisoft has been announcing, and there's so much, but things can change as they watch what players do.
Yeah, maybe not change, but I mean add things too as well.
But that's what I mean. Like, say it starts off as 4, but if, say, they saw so many people who, like, constantly commented how they want raids and they want, say, 6 people, like the Division or whatever, they can try to accommodate that and have that done by the time that these actually release. They could actually just be waiting to see how much it impacts the fans and what they actually do with what they're given.
I just hope the incursions have hard mode. I just like playing everything on hard.
I think didn't it say something about? I read somewhere it was supposed to be like really, really difficult.
Yeah,
So,
they're gonna.
I
I
know
think
that's
they're
what you
only
want.
hard mode.
That's what I'm talking about.
Extremely
Yeah,
Well,
I'd
it's
be
difficult.
surprised if
squads.
it isn't.
See, they read my email, so that's awesome.
Well, it's supposed to be like a squad of players faces off against high-level opponents.
Yeah.
So,
I hope there's jumping puzzles.
I don't know. Oh, God, no.
SheWolf will flip out.
I will quit the game. I will be done. I hate jumping puzzles.
I
Oh
mean,
my god.
yeah.
Oh,
And another possibility with that too is that we've seen in the betas that their difficulty scaling for anyone maybe listening who hasn't played the betas, you could play the single player missions alone on regular difficulty or hard, but then if you play it with 4 people on say you're playing it on normal, if I play it alone and then I play with 4 people, the game automatically makes it more difficult when I've got a
Yep.
party of 4.
Exactly.
So incursions might work the same way as well, where maybe down the road we can see more than 4 people playing, but the difficulty would naturally scale up for having more people.
That'd be so awesome.
I think that would be really great because that was one of the problems with Destiny is you could play the entire game alone until you got to raids, and then you had to have 5 other people to play it with, and that cut so many people off from endgame activities. And
Especially when a lot of people were like, "Oh, if you don't have this, you can't do this," and it's like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you were all new at this at one point in time too. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
that. I hate that.
yeah, so if we're seeing more of that scaling where you'll be able to, if they give us the ability to complete more stuff without having to have more people, that's only going to be better in the long run. But then if there's a thing where you gotta, having more people will always be more rewarding because it's going to be harder, and then when you overcome it, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I know one thing that was confirmed. I kind of forgot to mention. Dark Zone will not be tradable. Like, nothing you get in the Dark Zone is tradable. They want to keep that to where you have to fight for your stuff
That's how it
unless
should
you
be.
drop it.
Yeah, it's not
So-
surprising.
Yeah,
that's
if I
how it
want
should
your
be.
stuff in the dark zone, I got to kill you for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't live by that moral code, right, Matt?
Oh, I do.
That's right.
I for sure.
Rogues.
I will be stealing somebody's stuff.
Oh god, I will be a rogue. I'd rather be a rogue than play nice. It's called the Dark Zone, people. It's not called the Nice Zone.
That's good point. Good point.
Oh no, we didn't say anything about being nice to rogues.
That's hilarious. All right, guys, let's grab some questions. Predator's got a really cool question. I want to see what everybody thinks about it. How much longer do you think Phil Spencer will last as the head of Xbox? Do you think these latest decisions are coming from Phil or Nadalia? What does everybody think? Just think about it for a second.
Well, I think it's a mixture of both of them. Obviously, more Nadalia than Phil Spencer, I think, by a little bit. And if according to like how long he's gonna last, I don't know. I think he's gonna stay there until he's done. I mean, or they get him out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he'll stick it out. He looks like a tough guy. He looks like he's taken a lot so far from a lot of the
That's
fans
true. That's true.
and from the company as well. Probably they put pressure on him. I think. I don't know.
I think a lot of the business decisions like that, like getting rid of studios and stuff that maybe not pulling their weight or looking good on their business portfolio, I think it's coming down from Nadalia being carried out by Phil Spencer. Unfortunately, he's a gamer at heart, man. I don't think he wants these places to go, but when you look at it from a business standpoint, they're there to make money. I mean,
Well, my question though is, he's the head of Xbox.
Yes.
Microsoft is the one making the cuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, truthfully, Phil Spencer might not have a say in absolutely any of it. It could all just straight up be Microsoft. Like, there are so many more people that work for Microsoft and Xbox.
Well, I like to think that.
We even know about.
Yeah, but I would like to think that when it came down to, hey, Phil, this is what we're thinking, I think he's going to be in on that decision as well.
Yeah, especially if it's getting rid of a company that's making a game for what he's working for, a console for Xbox. I think that he would say, no, I don't agree with that because of this and that, and they're doing a great job, and I could show you, and I think that they would listen to him. But if he can't prove that they're doing a great job or otherwise,
right,
then they would say, yeah, you
then they have to cut
get
their
rid of
losses.
them.
I mean, yeah, they at some point, someone's there being like, look, we can't continue to fund this for another year or so. It's just not going to work out for us. And they got to make cuts. I mean, that's just the business part of it. I mean,
I
it
think
sucks.
it's a hard job.
Absolutely.
Overall, because he has to take off his gamer hat sometimes and
Right.
just be business dude, and that kind of sucks. Because afterwards, when he wants to play, he's like, "Wow, I really wish I could have played Fable." So,
To be honest, when it comes to Xbox and the whole question of whether or not Phil will get fired or stay with it or whatever, it doesn't matter who is the head of Xbox. Xbox will sell because of its name. Look at the whole big crap that happened beforehand about how, oh my god, they marketed this wrong. Everybody still bought Xboxes because that's the brand they know. So, truthfully, I don't think it matters who. Like, yes, Phil Spencer is holding his own. He's doing what he needs to do. Publicity is still publicity, whether it's bad or good. And I think that's what it comes down to. So.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just business. I mean,
Microsoft is a multi-billion company. I'm pretty sure if they lose Xbox, I don't really think they're gonna, I'm sure they'll be hurt, but I don't think they'll. They have computers, phones.
I don't think they're. Man, see, that's a hard thing. Is like, why would they get rid of Xbox when, Xbox Live is like a $3 billion a year, cash thing for them. Like, I really don't see them like getting rid of Xbox. I can see it becoming something else, but I don't think they're gonna fully get rid of it, honestly.
No.
Well, that's kind of what I was trying, like, more or less getting at, is that, it's not a big dent in them for everybody to say, oh my god, they're going to get rid of Phil Spencer because it's not selling good or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends because they did get rid of, I forgot his name, the last dude.
Don Matrick.
Don Matrick, because of the way that things, like, started off.
Yeah.
And they did notice that the console didn't sell as much as it could have.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, most of the people still bought it, yes, but not everyone.
But
And
the
now-
question is, was it actually that reason, or is that just what the media gave everyone to believe?
Oh, of course, it's what the media.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was perceived that way, so that's what it
Sure.
looked like, and
Absolutely.
and that's.
But he may have
Because they
actually
didn't
quit
answer
because
the
he
right
wanted to, like,
questions.
move to the Bahamas or something. Like,
I
nobody
don't
truly knows these stories, and it's the media that feeds them, saying that, oh my god, it didn't sell good, so they fired him. No, that could be a complete lie.
I mean, you definitely have a point there, SheWolf, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I know if I was the head of Xbox, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to quit. I would like to stay there as long as feasibly possible, right? Like, that's just my opinion, but... All right, guys, let's go ahead and grab another questions here. This is from Invader. Do you guys think Fable will continue on with a new developer?
Who?
They do own the IPs and everything from, Lionhead Studios. Honestly, they could, but at that point, when somebody else is doing it, is it really Fable? Is it going to have that same, charisma and swagger that Fable had that I grew up with? Probably not. It'd probably be something else. I don't know if I'd want another Fable done by anybody else, honestly.
I could see a Kickstarter before somebody else get the IP.
That's a good point, man. That's a really good point. Anybody else on that one?
I think if the fans really get behind it, I think it could come back, and the name carries weight. So it would be nice to see it again. Well done, and obviously it would be good if they take pointers from the one that you guys played, the beta and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if they're just gonna do it for the sake of doing it, because they're like, well, let's just take out another Fable. No.
After playing it, in my opinion, the game is done. They could pretty
agree.
much release this game and it would do good. If people actually got to see it, like you said,
got to play it,
it couldn't be talked about, it couldn't be brought up in any formal way. People couldn't actually see gameplay that we were seeing. Heck, there was even a thing that you weren't even allowed to show your friend sitting next to you.
It's like the longest closed beta I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Yeah.
I never understood it.
But if they were to start a Kickstarter and release an open beta, the game would sell.
Yeah, but how could they do a Kickstarter if Microsoft owns the IPs at that point? They really can't. They can't. It's just not possible.
But I can't see Microsoft be like, no. Like, if
mean-
they wanted to, you know, like...
They just closed down the studio. What do you mean they can't say no?
Well, I mean more like... I don't mean like that. I mean more like, if Lionhead said, hey, can you give us a chance to start up a Kickstarter to see?
Mm-hmm.
I could,
Okay,
you know...
I see what you're saying. Alright.
For Microsoft to make money in the long run, to try to get it back, I couldn't really see Microsoft say no. That, you know...
You're not doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a way
That's
that
a
it
possibility.
could make money.
Maybe, but at the same time, they also thinking about the backlash and everybody
That's true.
making, saying, why didn't you fund it? You guys are cheapskates. You're keeping your money to yourself. You should have done it in the first place instead of these poor dudes doing it on their own with the fans. So that's backlash.
To answer Predator real quick, no, you cannot. It's still under NDAs, but I think the last day before the servers go down, I'm going to do it anyway.
I think everyone's gonna do it.
So, that's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
So, I mean, yeah, that game needs to be.
Yeah, it needs to be
like
shown.
the game at least needs to be seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
That's a gorgeous game, man. My hope is Microsoft's like, look, here it is to everybody in the preview program. Try it out if you want to for like a month, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of
That would be amazing. They
It
should-
would
if they
be,
do
but
that.
they've already confirmed that nobody is getting access to this game. It's right on the Fable Legends website. Nobody's allowed access to this game but the people in it right now, and they have till April 13th.
See, this
Well-
just really smells like there's something else going
There's
on.
got to be something else, man.
Something big is going on that we don't know about, because that's
And-
so weird. Like, if you've got this game sitting here that you know isn't going to be made, why would you not just, all right, like, understand that this is all you're going to get, but just
And
play
literally
what you want, I guess.
last week, Asthmatic, like on Wednesday, they just put like a 4 gig patch out to fix a whole bunch of other stuff. Like the week before they're gonna get canned. So I don't even think they saw this coming. So
No.
I don't know where this is coming from. Honestly, this is just a really strange thing.
And they just brought a new character.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could have been already planned, as to release that stuff, but I don't know. It's just really weird. Anyway, guys, let's move on to, I think, our last question, maybe. Where we go? This
just
comes from
wanted to say one
Taz. Huh?
I just have one thing to say.
Sure.
It's another, Silent Hills or whatever the heck that.
Is it gonna go down like that?
It's another one.
It's another PT. Hold on to your
Yeah.
betas, guys. From Taz, do you think Microsoft closing down studios and canceling games franchises could lead to a super combined dev team and or buying devs like Remedy? I don't think they're gonna buy Remedy. I think they have this handshake thing with Remedy, like, hey, you guys make games just for us and we'll kind of leave you alone and let you be independent kind of thing. Maybe they could take the best of both worlds out of those two teams and put something together. I mean, they did say they're kind of like taking them in-house. They'll probably take the cream of the crop guys, honestly, if they're going to do that. So, I don't know. What do you guys
maybe
think?
if they've got some sort of like super project like in the works or something that they're thinking about, like maybe even a next gen thing. Like, that's always something I've really wanted on the I guess I'll call it the shooter side of things, where like I think it'd be great if there was a first person shooter game and then there was an RTS game and like a flight simulator, but they were all like in the same universe, that you were all in one battle together no matter what game you were playing from a different angle. And that'd be a cool thing that they could maybe do if they had one developer doing something like this or a sector doing something like that, that even though the individual games are different, they all interact in a shared environment. And that could even be a great place where we could see HoloLens or Oculus integration in the future.
Yeah.
That could be something, but
It could be.
that's like super.
Yeah, we're no insider guys. Like
down the road.
Yeah, we're no insiders or anything. I don't have anybody that like gives me any information. It's just our opinions, but.
And what we read from websites.
Yeah, Predator. I got that survey as well, man. Like just a week ago too, man. It's really odd, man. Like this whole Fable thing. I mean, I could see. Press Play, they're a very small team. Maybe they didn't like how the game went or whatever and close that studio down and, whatever. But we're talking about Lionhead Studios, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
They also just did a whole big contest about naming their outfits. And people won, like, big packs of Fable Legends stuff.
Yeah. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall right now at Microsoft would be interesting.
But, I kind of wonder with these two companies or, whatever, closing down, is it actually going to be harder for Microsoft to actually buy out IPs? Because are these developers going to be like, well, I'd rather just kind of stay multi-plat so that,
That's a good point.
If something goes wrong with you, I have Steam or I have PlayStation to fall back on. I know, PlayStation is also having some troubles because they've lost a few last year and stuff as well. But it comes down to, does this look bad on Microsoft to devs that they're trying to buy their IPs?
I mean, that's definitely something to look at for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. It has a little bit of a bad reputation on that.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, if I was like an independent developer and Microsoft came and approached me, I'd be like, I don't know, man. I just saw you, wax 2 studios. I don't feel really comfortable right now.
Look at there we go. I can't even say now. Gigantic. It had layoffs. It had a whole bunch of layoffs as well, and it's supposed to be.
Well, from what we heard from that, though, that was kind of they're not hitting their performance metrics for Microsoft. Like, they're supposed to hit certain points throughout the dev cycle, and they've just been missing them. And Microsoft's pretty much like, we're not giving you any more money. That's kind of what they did. I don't know if Fable Legends and that did the same kind of thing, so we'll have to see.
It feels like it would be different then.
Yeah.
Because they told us that about Gigantic. Like, that information is there, so you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was the same story with Fable, I'm sure they'd say, but at the same time, it can't be because, I mean, you guys have played this game. Does it lack in performance?
No, this game could release now, and it would be able to make it on its own.
Yeah, it's like what I said about The Division. If they put this game out right now, I would be happy with it, and I think Zazz would actually could back me on this one as well. He's just played it.
It felt even more done than Gigantic did, for that matter.
Exactly.
It's out of nowhere, and I would love to understand this. It feels like a conspiracy is what I want it to feel like.
It's another one of those things with Microsoft, just not explaining things and just doing whatever kind of thing again.
Oh, that bad communication, that sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Keep your people in the loop.
Yeah, especially that you could tell that it came from Microsoft. I mean, I doubt that these people would give up on their game like that.
They should have
Okay, we don't know what to
consulted the hardcore gamers first, Phil Spencer. We are owed that.
We are not going there. We are not going to that conversation.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened.
And remember,
It
this
did.
was the Microsoft in the UK that let them
Yeah, these
go.
are the out in Europe studios. So, well, it all comes from Microsoft. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's end on a good note. I don't want to talk about Fable Legends anymore. It's just making me sad. The Division's out tonight.
Woo!
We're gonna shoot some people in the face.
And live streaming. There will be live streaming, people.
Yeah, if you guys are waiting for those hired copies and you want to jam out with all of us tonight, well, most of us tonight, come on over.
Ouch.
That was not a ding to Fox at all.
I bet.
Hint, hint.
All right,
I'll
well,
be streaming it on my YouTube channel.
absolutely. I think we're all going to do that. I'm going to let these guys go ahead and give their send-offs and tell everybody what's going on for them for the week and where you can find them and all that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and start with Zazz since he's in the front.
Yeah. Watch for Dark Zone Justice, Episode 2. now we will finally get to do it. So wait for me and Matt on that one.
I have a
That's
feeling
all I got.
I'm going to be on that show in some way.
I
or
don't know
another.
though, because you seem to be way too eager about it, and that's what's horrifying me.
I think my show is going to be called the Dark Zone Hunters.
That'd be counterproductive.
That's
I
a
feel like.
mouthful.
It's gonna be a short show.
Oh, that's too funny. What about you, SheWolf?
Okay, so you can find me here. You can find me on Twitter at Desert SheWolf. Also going to be starting, hopefully this week, will be the Ladies of Xbox live streaming with Miss Fox there.
What?
And also PTK Blam's wife, Danger Queen. So come and check it out.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so it's about the gist of it. Like
But-
I said, you can find me here on Gamers Knows Best.
Yeah. What about you, Fox? Where everybody can find you?
Twitter, Blanca Fox, and on here, Foxfire, and hopefully on, if I make it, on SheWolf's Twitch, and keep an eye on the links for that. And thanks for having me, by the way. This is pretty awesome.
Awesome. No problem.
Yay! She finally
She
got
did it.
on.
And my first
Yeah, thanks for
podcast,
being
you guys. I made it. I'm alive.
Round of applause, everybody.
She made it. What about you, Mr. Asthmatic? Where can everybody find you?
You can find me right here on YouTube at Asthmatic, and I have to throw out a huge thanks to all my subscribers. I'm closing in on 200,
I saw
way ahead
that,
of
man.
what I thought I was going to be, and I'm blown away every day by that. Xbox 101 is up and running. We're going to be talking about the Xbox Store soon, and we'll all be online tonight on our respective channels, and we'll be in party, so we'll all kind of be on each other's stuff, streaming Division tonight. If I have time, I plan on starting my stream a little bit early, and I'll just be talking about the game, and if anyone wants to come by and just ask questions, talk, whatever, I'll be on there. And then whatever time it is for you, we'll be rocking and rolling, making it happen.
Awesome. And I am GKB from Gamers Knows Best. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Gamers Knows Best, YouTube, Gamers Knows Best. We're also starting, a few of us are going to start a Division podcast as well. We're just going to talk everything Division, incursions, weapons, mods, tactics, everything.
Oh my god.
We're still working it out. We actually were going to do our show this week, but some scheduling things came up, so we're going to work that out. So
Did you? Are you going with my name for it that I came up with?
I came up with a better name.
I don't know what we're going with yet, honestly.
I liked my name the
better.
best.
No.
That's still
Mine-
smart.
Matt,
to work out
Matt,
a
I
bomb
want to get
there.
you backing me up on this one. How about a name for this for a Division podcast would be Weaponized Small Talks.
It's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Thanks for rocking out with us. Yeah, go sub to everybody. Go follow them on Twitter. All cool people. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And we're out of here. Take care of your fellow gamers.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye.